Shabbat Shalom. It's Rabbi David Barron and my weekly Torah Talk. I'd like to welcome everyone, all of our viewers around Los Angeles and across the United States and around the world, to please continue tuning in and forward copies of the inspirational Torah Talk to your family and friends. And please join us at our magnificent High Holy Day services that are so inspirational. They'll be held here at our temple's home, the beautiful Saban Theater in Beverly Hills. A lot of people come from around the country, believe it or not, to experience Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur in a very heightened state, spiritual state. So we hope you'll consider that and come here and join us. We have a number of our neighboring hotels that offer discounted rates for people who are attending our High Holy Day services. Also, if you're here in town on the 27th of August, we'll be holding an outdoor Under the Stars Shabbat service at Roxbury Park, and we welcome you to come and join us for that service and Oneg Shabbat. If you're here in town, we'd love to greet you personally and say hello. And of course, as I said earlier, go on our website, templeofthearts.org, or call our office, 323-658-9100, for more information about membership and also tickets for the holidays. We'll be observing all of the COVID protocols that are required by the county and keeping everyone safe while experiencing a live personal experience of the most meaningful time of the year. And speaking of that, we've entered into the month of Elul. Elul is the last month on the Jewish calendar, and it's the month that precedes the High Holy Days, and it's a time of spiritual inventory taking. And every morning in the traditional synagogue, the shofar is sounded, the ram's horn, which is the wake-up call to repentance and to healing. So let's take a listen to that sound, which we'll be hearing on Rosh Hashanah and the New Year as well. Now, I'm not as adept as our shofar blowers who will be sounding the shofar at the High Holy Days, but you get the message. It's a wake-up. Take a spiritual inventory. Begin healing any broken or fractured relationships. In fact, the call letters of the Hebrew word for Elul are given a very beautiful interpretation. E-L-U-L, Ish l're'ehu umatanot le'evyonim. Let's be for one another, for our friends, for our neighbors, for our relations, and let's give gifts to those in need, helping the poor, very critical, important part of this preparatory time frame before the new year. The Torah portion this week is the portion of Shoftim, of judges, and it tells about the establishment of the system of jurisprudence. And in the Torah reading is one of the most famous quotes of the Torah: "Justice, justice shalt thou pursue, tzedek, tzedek tirdof." Doing the just and right thing and having one standard of justice for the rich or the poor, for the famous or the infamous, making sure that justice is meted out equally and fairly. You know, in our country, there are a lot of people who are concerned that there are two levels of justice. If you're famous, if you're a celebrity, if you hold a certain political point of view, you get one system of justice, which goes lightly on you. And then if you're in a minority or an abused minority, you might get a different system of justice, more strictly enforced in your case. And that is patently unfair, and the Torah condemns that. It says the word tzedek is repeated twice. Tzedek, tzedek, tirdof. Why? Because it should be the same justice, whether it's rich or poor, whether it's celebrity or someone who's unknown. And that is a very powerful lesson, especially in our times. The Torah portion also speaks about another institution that I find fascinating. It's called cities of refuge. In ancient times, if someone killed someone unintentionally, it wasn't an act of premeditated murder. It was an unintentional killing. Maybe we can analogize it to a hit-and-run driving accident. That person had to be avenged, the person killed. And it fell upon the male next of kin to be what was called the blood avenger, and to seek out that person and make the ultimate retribution of killing that individual. But the Torah established cities of refuge, safe places, safe havens, where that person who had committed the crime of killing unintentionally could escape and find security and not be attacked by the blood avenger. So this concept of there being a safe place, a place of refuge, is very powerful. In fact, if you think about it, I make the analogy to what's happening in our cities. So many of our cities are beset by homeless people who we have to feel compassion for and help. I support my friend Richard, who does a lot of work for the homeless and or what he refers to as the unhoused, who inhabit streets in our cities, whole swaths of neighborhoods with tents. That's just an unacceptable way for people to live. We have to find the will in our communities to establish safe places, if you will, cities of refuge. Build the kinds of structures, dormitories, where people who are on the street can live safely. They don't have to inhabit unsanitary, unhygienic environments, which make it a danger to them and to all of us who live in these cities. So that's an effort that must be taken, and the only way it's going to happen is when people who have certain faith, certain values, a value system, take the necessary steps to adhere to the laws of compassion, but also to do what's just and right for the whole community. I hope we'll undertake that in our city and in our community and throughout our state and throughout our nation. So the Torah reading gives us a lot of insights into human behavior and establishes the code of justice. The Hebrew word tzedek is also the root of the word tzedakah. And a lot of people think tzedakah means charity, but it's not. It means just. Helping those in need is just the right, just thing to do. And so we understand that it's not about some kind of magnanimous nature that we're going to help the poor guy. No, it's doing what's just to live in a just society. And when we undertake those mitzvot, those commandments, we live up to the highest standards, the standards that help us cleanse and prepare for a new year. And I hope you'll do that. Reach out to someone who you may have had a disagreement with, who you haven't spoken to in 6 months or a year. Send them an email or a message and say, hey, let's get together for a cup of coffee. Let's see if we can heal this. The effort is worth undertaking. Even if the result that you desire doesn't happen, you've done what's right, what's just. I wish you the best of luck in this endeavor, and may God's blessings be upon us as we prepare for a new year. May it be a year of health, fulfillment, and peace for all of us. Shabbat Shalom.